Hey, what the business is, world? Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Triller Too Legit, and this is Keeping It Real with Trill. Ring the alarm. Y'all already know what this episode is brought to you by Slow Mo Sodas. Pull up responsibly. Hey, for all y'all looking to place orders, tap in with me ASAP. Also, we are sponsored now by BEtr Picks, the app. Tap in now, download the app. You automatically get $50 to play when you use the code name Too Legit. You can get paid up to 100 times your money. The best payout odds in the game, BEtr Picks. Let's get into it.
Hit me.
All right. Welcome back, people. So listen, we seen the other day, yesterday, I believe, the popular podcast BACC On FIGG. For all y'all that don't know, FIGG is short for a street called Figueroa in Los Angeles. And maybe FIGG is known for pimping. It's a lot of pimps out there. It's a stroll. I guess there's a few bloods out there. There might be a lot of bloods out there. I don't know. But I know it's known. Figueroa is known for the Hoover factions. I'm not sure which exact Hoover sets, but I believe maybe all Hoover sets is off FIGG. I don't know. I'm not a Hoover. Don't care. But I know that FIGG is associated with Hoover. I'm not sure what type of set all these men are on this podcast, but I assume that these men may or may not be associated with some type of Hoover set by using FIGG. Now, I'm not coming at them in any way disrespectful or disrespecting their crippin' or their criminal status, whatever they choose to call themselves. But I have to shed some light on the world so the entire world can see that you don't have to claim a California gang to be what you think you want to be. Now, one thing I do know about these gangs, you got a lot of Hoovers in Texas, Fort Worth. Fort Worth Hoovers are gangsters. Fort Worth Hoovers are killers. They've been banging Hoover probably harder than a California Hoover for the last 30 plus years. Houston Hoovers have been claiming Hoover for the last 30 something plus years. And they've been going hard. I want to show y'all that California is not always proper. First off, I invalidated a person's cripping, his crip card in Fort Worth. A person that claimed to be an OG. I'm not even going to name his name because his career is over. He will no longer get booked to speak for crip functions. We're just going to name him the Timu Crip. I invalidated his Timu card nationwide and the whole world seen it. He's no longer good in LA and he's no longer good in Fort Worth. Number one, if you've been a Crip for over 30 plus years and you don't know what the word keyway means, then we've got a problem. Now, on the BACC On FIGG podcast, I believe there was at least 3 Hoovers. I don't know if the little Spanish-looking, white-looking dude was a Hoover, but I believe he stood up and raised his shirt. He obviously got to be some type of Crip because when they asked him what Damu means, he was like, he didn't know and all this other extra shit. He had to be so extra to let the world know that he's beefing with Damus, which makes no sense at all. Brother, you're not even black. You could have you're a Mexican, I believe. You could have went and got a job building a freeway somewhere, clown. But anyway, these individuals who have been cripping, these people can actually say they were born Crips. They are from Los Angeles. They are from Figueroa. They are from Hoover. So therefore, they were born Hoover. Knowledge should come off the top. You shouldn't be able to claim a gang if you don't know the ins and the outs of that gang, right? Do y'all agree? If you don't know all about blood, then how can you claim Five Deuce Hoover Crip in Houston, but you don't even know every single Hoover Street from the 100 to portrayed 52nd gangster Crip. How you can't know about every single Crip set and everything they got to do with your exact set? How can you claim that? How can y'all follow behind these individuals from California who are not proper themselves? So when these individuals get on national TV, on YouTube, in front of 40,000 streams, what they usually get, and speak on Crip, but they don't even know about Crip they goddamn self. Crip is bigger than banging a red on red flags. Crip is bigger than a blue bandana. Crippin' is bigger than the world, is what they say. So therefore, how can these individuals represent something and then turn around shun Texas Crips? Every Texas Crip that I know knows what a keyway is. Street Heat got it. Solo. My little nigga Baby Fig side. Little baby got it. They all know it. Psycho. Trouble Fam Psycho. Doughboy Sauce. They all know what a keyway is. Now, these individuals that are from Cali and from Hoover had to get on Chat GPT and Google. How come they didn't get on that phone and say, boo, hey, OG. Hey, OG, you been a Crip for X amount. How many years you been an OG? How long have you been in the prison system? OG. How long have you been repping Hoover? OG. Can you tell us what keyway means? So they get on Google and they give out false information. They say that keyway means criminal or this, that, and the third. No, 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 no. Now let's ask ChatGPT now. Keyway, K-I-W-E-T, keywet. Keyway may be slang, true, but just because it's slang does not mean that it does not represent anything. Just like saying fuck nigga is slang for saying you a bullshit ass nigga. Buster is slang, but that does not stop the meaning of what a buster means in LA. Pussy ass nigga in Texas is like saying buster in LA or fuck nigga in Florida or bitch in New York. Those are all forms of disrespect. Keyway may be slang in Swahili, but this is a language that was adopted in the California prison system. I will break down why Swahili was break down in the California system in just a few. But just because keyway may be slang and not the proper way to say it, kiwet, K-I-W-E-T, means crip or cripple in Swahili. Everybody that has a little bit of know-how knows that the Crips' original name was the Crips. But because of, I guess, certain different stories, canes were seen with certain people, Crip walks, and some guy had polio or whatever. However, the name evoluted to Crip, that name was used. So therefore, K-I-W-E-T, keywet, or maybe the T could be silent, keyway, means Crip. This is what Crips identify themselves in the California prison system. So if the California prisoners use the word keyway to identify themselves, and California Bloods use Damu to identify themselves, and you people around the nation copy off California people and claim to be proper under this or that OG, then you still have to use the word keyway to identify yourself. And if you are a 50-year-old OG Crip in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, and you do not know what the word keyway means, then that means you cannot educate properly your stable, your turnouts. The people that you turn Crip up under you are no longer Crips. Just because they bang hard and are ready to kill something. And let me put this out in the air. You Crips and Bloods in Cali ain't on a motherfucking thing. Why do I say that? Y'all ready to bang and talk shit to the people y'all know y'all can get on, civilians like myself. But y'all ain't trying to fight them white people. Y'all not trying to go at them Russians, the Russian mafia out there. Y'all not trying to go at them Jews. They got Hollywood in the headlock. Y'all not trying to go out against, it's ABs out there. It's Nazi lowriders out there. Those are your enemies. Sureños are your enemies. Sureños are out there. And they let you black niggas know that y'all can't come through their shit. It's Florencias out there. They out there. They popping you if you at the bus stop and you know it. So y'all not on nothing. Y'all are on fear and intimidation in the weak, oppressing the weak. Something that I'm not going to follow. Something that don't bar me. Because if you come down to Texas looking for it, I might be able to get you where you need to be. Now let's go back to the California prison system. Swahili was used in order to mask certain things, because once certain knowledge gets out there to the STG, the gang sergeant that knows that learns things about gangs, and then when you're back there in SEG, you have to yell on the run and shoot kites. You don't want those kites to be picked up by certain members. You don't want these kites to be picked up by enemies and ops. So therefore, how do you translate that? You don't want to speak in English. You don't want to use code. In New York, they use something called 1313 flip. I believe 1313 flip is now outdated and they're using something different, and they have their own slang. They have their own Swahili that they use. And by the way, New York bloods bang super duper hard. Now, the Mexicans will get on the run and yell out, "Hey, papi, el pinche maya te quiere pelear al recreo." That means the fucking niggas want to fight at rec. But blacks won't know that. I know that because I was raised with Mexicans and Colombians and Puerto Ricans. Yo hablo todo español y entiende si papi. So, when the Mexicans can get on the run and send out hits and say what they want to say amongst each other and we can't understand it, we had to come with our own language. So therefore, we had BGF, you had Kumis, you got Bloods, and you got Crips. We all learned Swahili in order to mask things so that these other races could not hear us talk. They could not understand us. Now they know what Kiwi and they know what Damu means. Of course, it got out. It got out. But let's go back to where these Fig Hoover Crips had to use Google. That should be a violation. And also that's teaching them to mislead the whole youth. That's letting people know you can go get a Hoover shirt. You can go get a Houston Astros shirt with a Houston Astros hat. Get on ChatGPT, learn all the Hoover knowledge you can learn, and then run around and say that you are under this OG. I could know a dude from the other side of town who got an OG named Spanky C. Spanky C never ever put me down. But because I know certain knowledge and I know certain things, I can claim to be a Hoover now because I got my knowledge off BACC ON FIGG podcast. I got my knowledge from Kunta, the Timu Crip. That's who I got my knowledge from. And how can you be an OG? How can you claim to be an OG and you do not know any type of lingo? You don't know all the knowledge that you need to know. And it's more than just your set. You need to know who Fadu's beef with. You need to know blood knowledge. You need to know this knowledge. You need to know the history of everything. So therefore, when one of your little homies come up to you and be like, "Hey, OG, what is this? Why is that? What is this?" And you can break it down. Because if you can't break it down for your little homie, then what type of big homie are you? This is like a child and a father. The child comes to daddy and says, "Daddy, what is these?" "Well, son, those are cigarettes. Don't smoke them. They'll give you cancer. They'll do this." So it's the exact same when it comes to cripping. When a Crip OG cannot answer and tell his younger generation the meaning behind this, or the meaning behind that, or the history, or the analogy, or how to recognize the op and how to listen to this, then what kind of OG are you? And I'm a blood. I destroyed an OG Crip that's respected in his city in 30 seconds. Can anybody tell me how that happened? Can anybody tell me how this person became an OG? Let me tell you how a lot of Texas Crips became OGs. Let me tell you how a lot of Texas Crips became Texas Crips. Texas Crips became Texas Crips by putting themselves down. A lot of these OGs that are in power now in my city were TYC Crips. Came home and ran into people like Doughboy Sauce or Boss or this person or that person. And these people are getting money from California back to Texas. It's always been a connection in between California and Texas on the money. If you out the loop and don't know, then you just don't know, and I'm not gonna wake you up. It's always been a connection. So when people like Doughboy Sauce are connected with real Hoovers because he's not scary, he's gonna pull up on that block and go get proper because his original OG is from LA. Then guess what? When these type of OGs these Crips that were allegedly put down sometime in between 14 and 16 years of age in TYC, our youth prison, they go get put down and then come back saying that they Crips, but they were never proper. A lot of Bloods did the same thing because they was victims down in TYC. Crips outnumbered them, TYC and TDC. Then y'all backdoor and popped up and say y'all was this and say y'all was that, and it's all capital. It's all cap. So they go back and meet a person like Doughboy Sauce who's in line and who's proper with this LA shit, and then y'all jump down and say y'all was Crip. Come on, man. Come on, man. I know Bloods in this city. I know Crips in this city that went to TYC and became Crips and came back and got a bunch of people under them and influenced a bunch of people. So tell me, why do y'all need Cali? I showed y'all on national airwaves that California Crips and Bloods are not always proper. They need Google and ChatGPT to learn their knowledge as well. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm just here to deliver the message. Don't shoot the shooter. Y'all know what time it is. The man with all the motion. The one they love to hate. West nigga.